How do you make yourself stand out in a hyper-competitive real estate recruiting industry? Well, the secret lies in a very unique trick that billion-dollar corporations have been using for decades now. It is from the marketing and copywriting industry, and it is called a unique mechanism. The main benefit is that it allows agents to really get their question answered of how are you different, right? So a lot of agents, when they're choosing a brokerage, that's the number one question they really ask: how are you different? How can this benefit me? A unique mechanism is really at the forefront when it comes to moving mountains, right? When it comes to differentiating yourself. So that's one of the main things I'm going to talk about today in today's video. Welcome to the Agent Attraction Secrets YouTube channel. And on this channel, I'd like to share the best agent attraction and recruitment strategies out there in the game. And some of these strategies are really contrarian, they're a little bit different, but they work extremely well. So let's dive into the video. Let's face it, folks, the real estate recruiting space is extremely crowded. There's so many people out there trying to recruit agents, and it's only getting worse day by day. In fact, right now, there are so many different types of players. Allow me to explain. The first one is the real estate brokerage, right? So a real estate brokerage, that's an independent brokerage, a boutique franchise. These are people that, of course, want to grow their agent count, and they, will do a lot of different things to get people in the front door, people in terms of agents, right? You also got the real estate team leaders that want to bring in A players. Now you've also got another subset of people that are even, in a bigger number, which is the term agent attractor. So basically, this is a term that defines people at cloud-based revenue share downline style brokerages. Not every, of course, revenue share brokerage has a downline model, but I digress. The main thing here is that there's a lot of them, right? Like tens of thousands of them. And here's the thing: the pool of agents is not as big right now, and it's not going to grow at the rate at maybe the rate that these brokerages are growing at, especially the cloud-based brokerages, right? So what's happening is that the market is getting more and more sophisticated day by day. We're in a market right now where a real estate agent is not only getting bombarded by lead generation companies, but they're also now getting bombarded by real estate recruiters, brokerages, other agent attractors trying to recruit them into their downlines. And it is what we call in the marketing world, or even the general business world, a red ocean. It is a lot of sharks have come in, and there's a bunch of blood in the water, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Everyone's making the same generic promises, and worse, they're actually doing it on the same platforms as well. So what I mean is, most people are doing cold outbound prospecting to get agents to book with them for a potential recruiting conversation, but they're saying the same stuff. So everyone pretty much sounds the exact same. People are saying stuff like better splits, you get lead gen, you get this, you get that, we have this offer, and everyone sounds the same thing. I've heard fancy offices is one of them as well, and that's obviously being very commoditized. But the worst thing is that when you're reaching out as the same method, like cold call or cold email, or a recruiter service out there as Joe or Sally down the street with their brokerage, you really are fighting an uphill battle. So when a market gets very matured and they hear the same claims over and over again, we enter into a very deep level of market sophistication. Now agents are asking, well, what makes you different? Or why should I care? Or how is your promise going to work for me? And if you're not out there right now innovating on the ways you communicate your USP and your unique benefit to these agents, you're always going to get ignored. You have to answer those three questions in a new, fresh, and compelling way. And that is where a unique mechanism comes in. So the unique mechanism is really the key, where allows people to come in and break through the market saturation and really the skepticism from agents. And the unique mechanism came, I'm just gonna tell a quick backstory to really tie it all together, from back in the day, right? So back in the day, you had the infamous ad men, right? I call them infamous. Back in the day, they were a lot of heroes, but a lot of our shifts in our worldview have really came from that era. For example, these ad men, they used to work on Madison Street. These people were responsible for having billions of dollars back in the day, which is worth even more now, towards companies, and really manipulating people's worldview. So for example, they made people feel insecure back in the day and not enough, like for example, brides, and if their husbands would go to war, they would go ahead and be like, hey, your husband's gonna come back, you gotta look pretty for him, here, buy makeup. Another example was cigarette companies, right? Cigarette companies, obviously now there's a lot of regulation. Back in the day, like I think one cigarette company. They came in. They actually made an example of this in the show called Mad Men. Great show, by the way. And they talk about, how the cigarette company was up against a lot of competition. And the cigarette company said, well, our cigarettes are the only ones with the roasted seeds. Now, here's the thing. Every cigarette company has roasted seeds, right? But this particular, marketing method allowed them to have a breakthrough and basically become the leader in the cigarette space at that time. Another example that you may be familiar with is if you go to like Costco or any shopping center, you might see, like weight loss pills sometimes, and it'll say stuff like Garcinia Cambogia, right? So the fitness industry is very, very saturated with claims and marketers that are trying to say, buy our fat loss pill, buy this and buy that. And, back in the day, let's just say like, you were the first person selling a fat loss pill, you could just go ahead and be like, hey, look, buy our fat loss pill. And then everyone would buy it, right? Because it's not skepticism or the sophistication levels were actually low back then. Then, 100 other people started saying, oh, our fat loss pill is better. Our fat loss pill is 10% better, right? So then, in the end of the day, then it's really hard to believe because everyone's saying the same stuff. And that's actually what's happening in the brokerage industry right now. Now, one company comes out and says, well, our fat loss pill uses a unique technology that's derived from an ancient root called Garcinia Cambogia. And now that's like, oh, someone like it's new. I want to hear more about that. That's what the consumer says. And that is, how you got to be thinking as well as a recruiter in the real estate space, right? So Garcinia Cambogia, now there's like probably, there's way more things that they come out in the market. But the key point I want to make here is that, this is how people are able to differentiate. That's what a unique mechanism does. So like really, what is a unique mechanism? I know you give some examples here, but let's just say you're offering something, you're offering a product or service. And in this case, a brokerage is a product, right? Agents are buying it oftentimes with most importantly their time, but oftentimes they're also paying as well fees. They want an end result. And it's not what you offer, but it's how you deliver those results that really separates you and puts you into a category one. That's where a unique mechanism really thrives. So here it actually says, I have a definition. It's a new proprietary and improved method that makes your brokerage's promises believable and exciting. And of course, I will give more and more examples down below because this is a new concept for many people. I'll also give an example of how my clients are using it for their brokerages, and even people are using it to grow their downlines. But of course, we'll get into that part very, very shortly. By the way, folks, if you guys are enjoying these videos, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And now back to the video. Let me give one more example here as well. So brokerages are very much like cars in a crowded dealership parking lot, right? And everyone's just sort of saying in the broker space, join us and get higher splits. We'll give you free leads. And the thing is that really what happens is everyone is just saying our cars are fast and buy our stuff, right? It's generic, right? And it doesn't really have a unique mechanism right in there, right? Everything sounds very, very generic. Now at the same time, let's just say like a car dealership in this case, right? Because we're talking about cars and trying to tie them to brokerages. They say, look, hey, our cars are the only ones with self-charging, turbo tech, a new trademark here, for example, right? Just for sake of this example. And it's a technology that gives you 50% more mileage without ever plugging it in. So now that actually is unique. It's specific. It makes you curious because people intrinsically, when they want to buy something new, right? They don't want to buy something old or even improvement, right? Because they've already been burned before. That is one example, right? Another example in the real estate space is like, when eXp Realty came out with a cloud-based model and they really innovated on, the Keller Williams model, but they made it all online. It really allowed them to have a breakthrough, and that breakthrough put them pretty much, as market leaders, right? And that's why they're the biggest residential real estate agent brokerage right now, and simply because the way that their unique mechanism worked, right? They didn't just say that, hey, we're better than Keller Williams. They actually showed it because they said, look, our whole process is online, and because of this as well, we have like 5 or 6 other benefits, probably way more, and that allowed people to understand, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you guys are different, but I understand now why they are different. Now, I'm not just like all towards eXp. I'm not even tied with any brokerage, but I'm just giving an example here. And that's how a unique mechanism can really work. So I want to pivot here as well as to why this mechanism works, right? Why does a unique mechanism really work? Because you see, in a crowded, sophisticated market, you need to have a clear and exciting big idea. I'm just looking at my screen because this is exactly what Todd Brown talks about. He's a legendary copywriter and marketer. And you need to have a unique mechanism that delivers on your promise. Now, this mechanism, it really works because of a few reasons. The first reason is it answers agents' objections up front, which is, they're typically asking, why will this work for me? The second thing is that it actually builds your authority and it elevates it. And, instead of being another brokerage, now you are actually an innovator. The other thing as well is that they actually build curiosity and urgency. Now agents feel like they might be missing out on this if they don't listen to it, right? So, of course, as I'm building on this knowledge base for you, I will really tie it in the next few minutes here with a real prime example. And I'm actually going to derive it from one of my clients because, this is stuff that, has helped them become the top brokerage or top recruiter. So let me give you a real example, right? So I'm actually reading on my screen here. I pulled this example from one of my clients, and now it's not exactly what they are doing, but because I can't share everything. But this brokerage, they come in, they were struggling, right? And local market, they had probably over a dozen brokerages. There were more and more coming up, and they were having a lot of issues. Typical, they were like hiring all the other companies out there. I'm not going to name the other companies, but they were hiring these services that would try to book appointments. Those agents wouldn't show up. Obviously, there's no reason to, because those companies were just doing what they were doing, but they were automating it, and that's it, right? So they were already just scaling a broken system, right? But when they came in, I told them like, hey guys, look, you guys need a unique mechanism. So what they did is they have a unique mechanism. They called it the revenue fast track system. That's what they started marketing. Now, instead of saying, hey, we're gonna help you make more commissions, they positioned their brokerage as like the only one in their market with a 90-day proprietary coaching consulting accelerator system that taught agents how to automate their lead follow-up with AI, run hyper-targeted social media ads with their exclusive templates, and they also helped them close deals faster with a one-call closing formula. And the result was, obviously great. And you might be thinking like, that doesn't seem like too sexy here. Of course, I'm going to show you exactly how they did it, because the mechanism was one thing, but how they marketed the mechanism is really what the magic was, right? So agents didn't see him as a brokerage anymore. They actually saw him as like a game changer, something new, right? So now when they came in, they started running ads. They're like, hey, look, agents in so-and-so city, I'm not going to name the city, but they were like, we have a unique way for you to pack your calendar, get more leads, and go ahead and make $250K in GCI every single year using this unique process called the revenue fast track system. They were marketing with a personal brand as well, and this personal brand was of a leader in their company. And this guy, obviously was posting a lot of reels and social media content daily. And there was like, when someone saw the ad, an agent saw the ad, there was not even like an instance here where they would ever see that it is a brokerage that they're trying to recruit into, right? It would just like, hey, this guy seems charismatic, I like him, he has this unique ad, and then they click on the ad, they watch a video, they book a call. That's really what the marketing funnel was, and no one in their city was using that at that time. Now, that unique mechanism as well, that what that allowed them to do is when agents came to their call, they would charge a $500 onboarding fee, which would offset the cost of marketing. They're spending a few grand a month on ads, and they were actually profiting now, and they could keep scaling the ad spend. The only problem that they had is like they were hitting every single agent in the city, right? And now they had to actually open up, right? And the total addressable market, which obviously, it's a great problem to have. So that's how you would really scale it, right? So you have the unique mechanism, you market that, you actually now position yourself as different, but now because you have built so much goodwill and status, you can actually charge onboarding fees as well, because they come into you, you're not going to them anymore. And it's a really good place to be, and that's how you scale your brokerage, right? That's one of the ways, of course. That's one thing I would do right away off the get-go. So how do you even create a unique mechanism? Because you're probably wondering like, okay, yeah, this is great and all, I like the example, but how do I do it for myself? So I have 4 steps, and the first thing is you want to identify your core promise. What's the ultimate benefit you offer agents? Is it leads? Is it mentorship? Is it higher commissions? Whatever it could be. Is it a revenue sharing model? In the end of the day, you have to really ask yourself the question, like, what differentiating factors am I offering? Right now, my personal tip here is that you want to give agents what they think they need. On the back end, once they're actually on your team or in your brokerage or a part of your organization, then you can actually give them what they really need, right? You could feed them what they need, but you want to make sure that you give them what they think they need and you feed them what they really need on the back end. So what they think they need is more leads, more appointments, and you can always market that's really evergreen, and it will always get you agents booking with you. That's my personal tip here. Now, here's the thing as well. I always like to just market one benefit, which is, like how to pack your calendar, how to pack your leads, or get more leads. That's something that I've always seen work, right? That is my tip here. That's a lot of what my clients do. Is what I recommend them as well. The second step now is to find the hidden mechanism within that. So how do you actually deliver that promise here, right? And how do you do it differently? So is it a technology? Is it a process? Is it a system you have? So, let's just say I'm a brokerage, right? I've got a good lead gen system in house. We help agents with, Facebook and Instagram ads. And then we also have ISAs that call up and we give them appointments, as opposed to other brokerages that just, have a round robin system. We actually give appointments to our agents. It could be a team model as well, depending depending on what your brokerage is offering, or your organization. I don't want to just limit it to brokerages. There are also organizations. But basically, you want to see, well, how am I doing it differently? So is it, are you using AI? Are you using inside sales agents to call up the leads? All it takes is usually one thing. It doesn't have to be that special. It just has to be somewhat different, right? Because chances are in your market, your competition is, not even that, they're not that, good at anyways at marketing and copywriting like this, right? So again, like when you are doing this, right, just think about one thing. So a prime example would be one of my clients, and here's exactly what they did. So my client, the guy that ran the brokerage, he was a lead generator, had a marketing agency before, and he knew a thing or two about lead generation, Facebook ads, and he knew, of course, that you had to call the leads quickly, and he knew agents wouldn't do it themselves. So he was like, what if I just build an inside sales agent team, and based in the Philippines, they call up all the leads within 5 minutes or less. They book the appointments on the calendar, right? So he actually ran an ad in the market. He's like, look, we have a unique system called the SDR method, and this method is allowing agents to pack their calendar with 5 to 8 meetings a day without doing a single thing. So now, obviously, to get access to the SDR system, you have to join his brokerage. So that was a prime example of a unique mechanism. I was almost like, if someone's watching the ad, they're like, what the heck is this SDR thing? How is it going to get me 8 appointments? I'm curious. Let me watch the video. Let me book a call with this guy, because clearly my company is not offering this, and I want this end result, right? You see what I mean? So this is a prime example of what I do recommend for you to just look at and consider. Of course, on these videos, I want to give away everything. I want to give as much as I can in the short period of time that I have on this video, but I want to make extremely valuable for you folks that are watching. So that example here is a direct example from one of my clients. So after you find that quote unquote hidden mechanism, third step is naming that mechanism, right? So I do like to have a mechanism name that is a little bit unique, and that's not boring, but if you really want to have like a simple name, be like, hey, using the accelerator blueprint or whatever it is, right? Like, for example, our company, we help our clients out with the copywriting coaches. We help them structure sales arguments and all that, but it just depends upon what you want to name it. If I were to give you a simple answer, you can just call your mechanism like the agent success blueprint or the agent revenue accelerator, something like that, right? Very simple. Does the trick as well, but if you can get even better than that, you should, right? So again, that's just how you would name it. The fourth thing, which is also one of the most important things, is prove that it works. So anyone out there can make claims, right? Anyone out there can name these mechanisms, but you want to prove that it works. So this is where I recommend having interviews with some of your top agents, Zoom interviews. I also recommend having more case studies and testimonials as well from people that have used this mechanism. Now, these people, obviously your agents are already at your brokerage and you can incentivize them, but I do recommend that, right? So, you want to show prospective agents that want to work with your company why they should trust your mechanism, right? And here's the thing, what I can really compare this to is like you marketing yourself as like a coaching consulting firm, right? In the end of the day, obviously you're not going to explicitly say you are that, but agents are joining a brokerage to get to an end state, right? The brokerage is a vehicle. So there's end state and there's beginning state, right? So beginning state on the left hand, end state's on my right hand. Agents on the on unhappy on the left hand, they want to get to the right side. That's happy. That's usually they make more GCI, more closings. They're looking at ways to get them there. A brokerage is a vehicle to get them there. So you are marketing a brokerage, right? And you want to market your brokerage just as a lead generation company would market themselves, a coaching consulting firm would market themselves, because let's face it, right? A lot of coaching consulting companies are the ones that are, having the most agents. In a way, they're actually sort of like brokerages, right? They're doing what a lot of brokerages should have been doing, right? And again, like you can learn a lot from them. And that's why, on this channel, a lot of the takes that I will give are a little bit more contrarian, a little bit of an outsider viewpoint, because that is what I see that is working for our clients. So of course, with all that being said and done, there's some pitfalls and mistakes you want to avoid. The first one is you don't want to overpromise without delivering. Your mechanism should genuinely work. And something that I've seen is a lot of people make a lot of fake promises. That's exactly why a lot of people actually, will have a bad word of mouth compounding against their favor. So again, it's something that you always want to make sure that you're actually delivering on your mechanism. The second thing is you don't want to copy your competitors. If it's not different, it's not really unique, and it won't really cut through the noise. Third one is you don't want to just rely upon jargon. You want to keep it concise and simple. I think a lot of people will really have issues with the fulfillment part. Like, yeah, they make a mechanism, but they're like, hey, I don't know how to provide lead gen to my agents. It seems like that's what you're really preaching here. Like, it doesn't have to just be lead gen, but one of the things that we do offer to our clients as part of our agent attraction accelerator program is a white label product, right? So the white label product is something that you can use and you can give access to your agents. We actually show you how to set it up, and it's very simple. It's unbranded, and they can actually start setting up their own lead gen campaigns, organic marketing campaigns, and that can actually be a natural fulfillment aspect or fulfillment arm where you fulfill upon the mechanism. And that's exactly what we do at our company, right? We help companies like brokerages, teams, and even downline attractors recruit and build their organizations by having stuff like marketing funnels that bring agents to you, using these unique mechanisms that I talked about today, and then also fulfilling for them on the back end with online courses, which of course we give a white label format as well, so you don't have to do anything. Here's the bottom line: in today's market, just being another player is not going to cut it. We talk to hundreds of brokerages every single month. This is really for your brokerage owners listening here, and a lot of people are bleeding money. It's not a fun place to be in, and EBITDA is going down, profits going down, and a lot of brokerages are dissolving. They're losing agents every single day, and it's a tough cutthroat market to be in. So you have to be different, you have to be unique if you really want to even have a shot at winning. One of the strategies I shared today, of course, the unique mechanism. There's a lot more strategies out there, and on this channel we like to give everything away. So if you guys are interested in getting more videos just like this, click subscribe, comment down below if you guys actually resonate with this, like the video. And if you guys are interested in working with my team, we'll help you structure everything, whether you're a brokerage, a team leader, or even a downline attractor trying to grow your revenue share organization. We have a lot of solutions for every single different type of person. If you're interested, click learn more somewhere below the video and watch our video, get acquainted on our process, and we'll see you guys on the other side.